it so that there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of fairs, a lot of things going on. So they're going to make all of these areas, new sidewalks, new plazas, new a lot of
because a lot of these places are going to get money and they're going to be like, oh, it's time to renovate.
Right, so at Mount Vernon, that's the key,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
That he got from her.
I didn't even know this was here. This is nice. I mean, there is a projector up there.
Because they,
An elevator here. This is well done. It's got that old building smell, doesn't it? I don't know. There must have been a whole, something happened here recently because it's got all these banners and
I think these are their,
Lafayette's legacy.
I'm wondering if it's part of their concert series, their lecture series that they have.
American Revolution, France support, the siege, the Yorktown. No, there's something here. Creation of Morristown National Historic Park. What does that say? 72nd Congress of the United States of America and Act.
1933.
Wow. The nation's first historical park in the National Park System by his signature in the bottom left of the third image. Wow. These are just historic books from the time period, or?
Yeah, so a lot of them have to do with the American Revolution. Like this is like Marquis de Lafayette's
memoirs of like being part of the revolution. So in the 1880s to whatever that guy, 1870 to 1955, that guy was alive, that Boyd Smith, he collected all this stuff.
This table was owned by someone by Lewis Morris. He signed the Declaration of Independence. The table right there.
Yeah, see, this is all part of that, part of the collections, because they're like, it's a disclaimer telling you that, you know, they, obviously this property's been collecting stuff since 1880, so they, what they have the documentation on may or may not be completely accurate. They're just going off of what's in there.
Wow.
So these are the manuscripts that guy collected.
1690 to 1757?
1676.
Wow. What's up there?
Where? Storage, I think.
More storage?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think they're using it as storage, but I guess if you had to, it could be exhibit space, you know?
I think it's 18th century blogging. Yeah. It's like documentation of everything they were doing.
And this is all that Lloyd Smith.
Making gunpowder, exercising.
Yeah. It's all that Lloyd Smith. He went around and collected all these old documents and kept them.
This actually has something handwritten on it. It says Great Britain Adjunct General.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interesting. Bunker Hill. View of the attack of Bunker Hill with the burning of Charlestown. That was such an important
Well,
battle.
yeah, that's because that's all.
It's like basically the beginning.
Well, that's where the shot heard around the world
Well, in
started.
Boston. What is this book? George Washington. Wax portrait. Jeez. 1725.
Well, yeah. So again, it was made by that Peyton Wright who lived from 1725 to 1786. So they really don't. Do they have a date on that? No. They don't know when it was actually done, but they know it was done in his lifetime, obviously. It's crazy.
A silver portrait.
I mean, it had to have been done in the 1770s.
Yeah.
The 1780s, because he wasn't that grandiosely known to do that.
Wow.
Okay, we have to go this way.
Mountains and swamps, and that those lights turn on.
Yeah.
And then American troops. Boom. Newark, Rahway, Elizabeth, roads and rivers. Boom.
Is that Paramus? Look how Paramus is spelled.
Yeah. Yep.
Even Hackensack. Look how Hackensack is spelled.
Hackensack. Resources: Jockey, Basking Ridge, Ringwood.
Come this way, come on. Come here.
Good morning, Your Excellency. General Sinclair's compliments. He apologizes for the delay in assembling the men. Snow has been a hindrance. The inspector of the Pennsylvania Division has provided me with this inspection return. I can read you some of the figures while you review the men.
Wow.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Morristown National Historical Park. The next guided tour of the Ford Mansion will be leaving from the second floor hallway of this building in front of the bust of George Washington. There you'll be met by a park representative for the tour. Thank you once again and have a great day.
Would tell you how much alcohol was in, so that you knew. And then
Depending on how buoyant it is?
I guess so. Yeah, it doesn't say. But then there is a chart here of what it 1.2, 1.5, 10. I don't know. Must have to do something with.
It's really interesting. That is so weird. How would they even have that? Interesting.
That's number.
Well, that's a
Babies,
nursing
and
bottle.
that's a bottle.
Interesting.
That's cool. Yeah, I think this is part of that collection they were talking about. Oh no, this is George Washington's wife. Sorry. This is her.
This is Martha.
This is Martha. What's the stuff on it? Shows Mrs. Custer 2 years prior to her marriage to George Washington. Following his death. Stored it all and made it work.
What is this from?
So this is a bed cover. So it's arched here so that the sides would go down.
Around the corner?
And this stays on the where the pillows are. Right?
Oh, I see.
So they're
So it flaps down. I see. Those are the skirts on the sides.
right.
Interesting.
It, I guess meant to give a little bit of a hole there for like
For the corner.
yeah, for the bedpost or whatever's there. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised they have it uncovered like that. Sundial for 6.
That's a microscope? And then that's a sundial. That's 1673.
What's this one?
That's number 5. That's
Yeah.
the pocket-sized microscope. This is the
Oh,
container it holds into.
Yeah, they don't know what the date is though. Yeah, they don't have a date on that.
No date. It's got to be in that same time frame.
Yeah, pretty cool.
There are 233 men listed as sick this past month. Deaths, 36
We
desertions.
have to stand
Three
because
men
they don't
were
want it to be loud.
discharged, and
It's
9
just for
men
you.
were enlisted.
You know?
The majority of the Pennsylvania.
When I was here with my sister.
No?
This is all new.
Wow.
No. Or we didn't come down to it. I remember the book.
Maybe you don't remember. Maybe it wasn't.
Do not remember this. I'm wondering if they're trying to entice more school groups to come.
This door's automatically closed. Look.
I think-
This log hut. I think you would have remembered this.
Yeah, I don't remember any of this.
Well, lad, would you like to play a game to help pass the time?
What kind of game? It's too cold to go out.
To prisoners, civilian criminals, Tories refusing to take the oath, German and British prisoners of war, Continental soldiers accused of offenses such as desertion, theft, and assault. Take a look behind this door. 18th century Johnson. That's pretty cool. 18th century. With a keyhole. How squiggly and specific it is.
This is the actual door from
Yeah,
Morristown?
Yep.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Person, school teacher. 29 years old, school teacher in Philadelphia. You're a school teacher who also runs a small store living in a city fully divided between real estate. You're married to a British soldier as a servant, merchant. You know your political views may offend friends and neighbors who are also customers, yet you want to support your husband's army. What will you do? Openly support the British, spy for the British. By keeping your views to yourself and being a woman, you can. So we need to do that revnewjersey.org and see what they're planning for 2025, 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Free and independent states. Congress also approves a document largely written by Thomas Jefferson, known as the Declaration of Independence, which explains to the world why.
This is the inaugural sword?
King George's response to the Declaration is to attack. British forces land in New York and quickly hand General George Washington a string of battlefield defeats, leaving New York City under British control until the end of the war. Washington and his troops are driven out of New Jersey and retreat across the Delaware River into Pennsylvania. reaching probably one of the lowest points of the war. A troubled Washington writes, "I think the game is pretty nearly up." Determined to reverse momentum, Washington orders a bold attack, crossing the Delaware River on Christmas night to surprise the Hessian soldiers at Trenton. This victory is quickly followed by another at Princeton. Washington moves his army to the safety of Morristown, where he'll recruit a new army and inoculate them against the threat of smallpox. But this success does not last. In the fall of 1777, the British occupied Philadelphia. The Continental Congress must evacuate or be captured.
William
When
Patterson.
American troops force a large British army to surrender at Saratoga, France and retreat. Yet, the Americans continue to fight. Another test comes soon enough, when the British capture Savannah, Georgia, and the focus of the war
The size of that.
shifts south.
That gun.
Yep. I just think they carried that around, along with.
With the
every-
bayonet in it.
Along with all their pack, filled with.
After 4 years of
And
fighting
walked
across the
everywhere.
13 American colonies, the war is reaching a turn. A second phase, with new alliances as the kingdoms of France and Spain enter the war on the American side. Continental troops. Out of 10,000 troops, fewer than 100 died. In May 1780, Washington
The south point of West Point, too. I remember them talking about this. That's nuts. This is one of the links? This is the West Point link? This is from West Point.
From the West Point chain. Yeah.
100-pound plus link is one of the 800.
Right. But isn't that where they put that?
Yeah,
chain?
across,
West
right across the
West
river.
Right.
That's nuts.
And it was to keep boats from crossing, keeping the ships from going that river.
To find a safe port for his supply. But before this can happen, the French fleet defeats the Royal Navy at the Battle of the Capes off the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, isolating Cornwallis and his men. Washington's army encircles the British at Yorktown. The Americans lay siege and force Cornwallis to surrender. This surrender does not bring an official end to the war, but it does end large-scale fighting in North America. And it proves to the world that the Americans are determined to be free. But now that Americans are free to govern themselves, how will years of war, 40,000 men from either
Oh, look,
side
Aim.
killed in action or dead.
It's the Battle of Bunker Hill.
The people of the newly independent United States have accomplished what many believed was impossible. Victory over the greatest military power of the age. But the hard
This is all Boston.
building a new nation.
Yeah.
Boston. The British occupied Boston in 1774. It seemed only a matter of time before fighting broke out. In April of 1775,
Establishing a government and maintaining an
when
army
Americans
are
discovered
often at
the
odds.
British plan to destroy Nation's gunpowder in Lexington, 2 months later, the Battle of Bunker Hill, which actually took place on Breed's Hill, which we saw, was fought between the British regulars and the Massachusetts militia.
Many soldiers, including
When the well-trained redcoats advanced up Breed's Hill, formed roads.
fearing that they might
In the
be
end,
dismissed
The
without
Battle of Bunker Hill was one of the bloodiest of the Revolution, claiming lives of 4,000.
General Washington makes an emotional appeal. Gentlemen, you must pardon. I have grown
Of the cabin he was born in,
James Madison.
and put it at the museum to represent him for an 18th century connection to Hunterdon County.
Wow.
Found in Europe, but one focusing on democratic
So the cabin that's there is a replica
Is a replica
of his cabin.
Yeah, and they built it for the bicentennial, which was in
George Washington.
1974.
1976.
19, well, yeah, but I think they built the cabin in 74.
Right, like in preparation for it.
Right.
But does so not as a soldier, but as
Wow.
a statesman in a simpler grounds.
Because I think he was really living in South Carolina, like more in the Carolinas.
In late 18th century America, disagreements over taxes and parliamentary representation escalate from words to war. And for many Americans, ideas like liberty and freedom become worth fighting for. After 9 years of bloodshed, the British victory in the French and Indian War has left the British Empire in debt. Parliament eyes her American colonies as an important source of revenue, passing a stamp tax in 1765 on all goods printed on paper, legal documents, newspapers, even playing cards. Furious, Americans cry for justice and demand a voice before their king, George III. Their motto, no taxation without representation. The tax is repealed, but anger simmers, especially amongst an association of colonial merchants and tradesmen in Boston, known as the Sons of Liberty. In Boston, a street argument turns deadly. 3 Americans are killed, and 2 mortally wounded. Across America, other colonies rise up in violent protest. In defiance of British policy, retaliation for the lost team, the British closed Boston Harbor, cutting off all commerce. In Philadelphia, the first Continental Congress meets to unite the colonies in protest.
Shovel/frying pan.
Words.
So they took a shovel
They bent the tip.
and bent the tip so they could use it as a frying pan as well.
Leaders and local militia throughout the American colonies prepare for conflict.
Broiler
General
made from
Thomas Gage, the royal governor of Massachusetts, fearing insurrection, orders a raid to seize colonial arms stored outside of Boston.
Wow, same thing
The
here.
following morning,
This is a broiler.
standoff
Yeah, I saw it.
between Massachusetts citizens and British soldiers results in 8 Patriot dead. From near and far, Patriot militia rush to surround British-occupied Boston. Congress appoints George Washington to take command of the new American army. But before he arrives, the inexperienced
It's a punch bowl.
stand up to the greatest army in the world at Bunker Hill. The British purchase victory with the lives of hundreds of redcoats.
Nice. It's really
There
nice,
is
actually.
no
Look at painting.
turning back. But can peace be negotiated before more blood is shed?
After this, we can go to Jockey.